Hey, welcome back to the podcast. I am Shawn. With me is Steve and Rob. What's up, Steve?
Quiet.
What's up, Rob?
Hello.
What's going on? How's everybody doing?
Good. Tired.
What a surprise.
My back hurts. My knees hurt.
Do you want to start doing the podcast in the morning? Would that be better? If you did it before
No.
work? Would you be
Maybe
able to
on
work?
the weekend when I have a day of rest?
There you go.
Oh, I'm getting old, fellas.
I'd much rather.
Hurts.
Let's do it on a weekend in the morning. That'd be fun.
No.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right.
All right. Rob's own shoots down his own suggestion. Makes sense.
Yeah, forget that.
Hey, have I always had a lazy eyelid? Have you guys noticed that?
Is there a part of you that isn't lazy?
Good point.
But I
was just looking at it before we went on. I'm just like, okay, I look like fucking Sylvester Stallone all the time.
I put a Jason mask on. It was a year ago, and I did like a selfie, and like I had no idea like this eyelid droops until I put the mask on. I was like, holy shit, I look like Jason for real. Like I just like I wasn't making a face. I just have a droopy eyelid, and I had no idea.
Okay.
For years. I have no idea how long it's been there.
Is that a normal thing?
People's faces change. You know, your things start dropping over time. It's just how it works.
It's a damn
yes,
shame.
They
what are you gonna do? Call them like hooded lids. Hooded eyelids.
Like everything has dropped.
Everything's dropped. Stirring the toilet bowl water with his balls.
Hey.
Yeah.
He's older than me. He still looks better than me, though. It's some bullshit.
I guarantee you feel better than me.
I don't know, man. After watching Steve collapse, the only time I've seen somebody drop that fast is when I watched Logan literally pass out one time. And Steve collapsed so quickly with that back pain that one time. I was dying, and he literally said the line. He said the Incredibles lines. Oh, my back! just fucking dropped. Sack of potatoes, man.
And it has not gotten any better since then. Just
back pain hurts, man.
I really got to go on. I started my diet on Monday. So far, I've gained 3 pounds, so that's good.
Hey, here's an idea.
I was just trying to not eat as much, but then we went out for Mexican Monday, and then we had pizza last night, and it's just not.
Here's an idea. Exercise. Get your ass out on Sunday mornings and come frisbee golf with us.
I didn't do shit.
I didn't get
how much you have to work out to lose weight. I'm so tired of that fucking
dude. You burn a lot of calories.
No, you don't. When I used to run and I'd run on the machines and stuff, and it would track your calorie burn. After like an hour, I'd burn like 200 calories. Like, so if I have 3 French fries, I'm done. Like that's what it took to burn off 3 French fries. Fuck off. You gotta. It's mostly dietary, dude. The exercise part is good for your circulation and other things, but and it can help you lose weight, absolutely. But the hours you would have to put in to really burn through some calories, it's insane.
Dude. Yeah, but when you're sitting on the couch and you get up and walk, you're going to tell me that's not going to help? It's going to help your metabolism for sure.
A little bit, but
not a little. He needs a little bit. He don't need a lot. He needs a little.
I lost 17 pounds in a month with no exercise, just changing my diet. That's all I did. I didn't even change how much I ate. I just did keto. Still ate a lot and didn't exercise a bit. 17 pounds.
And how much did you gain back from keto?
Over 2 years, I've gained a lot back. But again, the point is, I didn't stay on the diet, Rob. If you don't keep doing it, then you're not going to keep losing weight.
Well, nobody stays on that keto diet. That's my whole point with keto.
So, some people do. I know somebody who lives on it.
I don't have a desk job. I do the same thing I would do at frisbee golf every day. I'm up and down off of trucks, standing up, sitting down, walking everywhere. So
but that extra day helps, man. Trust me. I'm just trying to get you to come out. And
I didn't get a text this week.
It's got nothing to do with you. I just want your company.
I did not get a text this week. I was like, oh, thank God they finally took me off the group text.
Keith only sent it to me. I was like, I don't even say anything anymore. I just assume you're not coming.
No, I'll be there. It's nice. It's starting to get warm. It's nice. It's nice. I'll be there. I'll check it out.
I'll be there too. I'll show up as soon as Steve does.
Hey.
Yeah, that's about the same.
Last time I went is when you guys were in Memphis.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised.
True. I had the game of my life, too. I won that day. I never beat Keith. Keith's like fucking stellar. Rob's pretty good, too.
I haven't been.
Hey, I had a daddy-daughter dance this last week,
How was that?
and it was it was great at first because the kids just saw their friends, and all the girls were just sitting up there dancing. I was like, sweet, I can just sit at this table. And then the principal, it's like a 2 hour long thing, and about an hour and 15 minutes in, he's like, all right, now it's time for the dance off. I'm like, fuck. So me and Brooklyn got up there, and we actually made it to, like, there was like 7 groups left, and we were in the final 7.
That's
So
pretty good.
that was pretty sweet, man. But
What'd
I
you
was
guys
like,
do?
well, they kept coming around and judging you while you dance, and I was doing everything. I was picking her up. I was doing things. We were doing twirls and everything. And I'm just sweating my ass off, man, because I'm so fat and so out of shape. I was like, I had a suit and tie and everything, or a sweater vest and a tie. And I'm like, they come around to judge you, and they're like, oh, what's your name? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, shit, that means I'm going to keep going. So they kept coming back, and they're like, okay, you're going to the next round. I'm like, please stop. I'm going to fucking die. Like, I cannot dance anymore.
Don't dance so hard. Just get up there and wave one finger
But
like this and bob your head.
But I'm competitive, so I want to win.
In other words, it seems like I'm a moron, though, and I will work against my own best interest.
Exactly.
To win what? What did you win? A plastic trophy?
No, we didn't win anything because we didn't make it there. But
Well,
I
I'm just
wanted
saying,
to
but
win.
what did the winner get?
I have
Some
no
Smarties?
idea.
They
Probably
get some Smarties and a
Yeah.
bit of honey in a bag.
It was like a cupcake. And
Right.
the girl that won was
He
like,
doesn't know what they won because he passed out.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, my back.
afterwards, I took off my tie. I'm hitting my head with my tie, wiping the sweat down. It's like,
Jesus
hey,
Christ.
man, you got to do it, dude. The kid, she was having so much fun. I wanted to win it for her. I wanted to hoist her up over my sweaty head.
Well, then you should have won.
Yeah, we made it farther. I couldn't go anymore, man. My quads were killing me.
It came around again. Steve's just on the floor, and they're like, all right, you're out. She's just dancing around his corpse.
I was like, no, I was doing the worm. The
like,
dead
I just
worm.
picture Homer Simpson up there. Like,
That's what I was doing. I was like, please don't call on me anymore. I don't want to advance to the next round.
But also, I'm going to keep trying my hardest.
The kid that won, she was like 14, man. I was like, she knew all the dance moves. I was like, that's bullshit.
Okay.
I was like,
Dude,
That's bullshit.
Where was it at? Your church or your
the school,
your Catholic school?
The Catholic school gym.
Why is there a 14-year-old? I thought it was
because it was
only
daddy
They don't have
daughter
age
dance.
groups for this fucking thing.
No, it goes
the
up
hell?
until probably high school.
But they didn't
14, you're
segregate you
in
based
high
on
school.
they should have like segregated you based on age and had
Yeah.
different people win.
Well, they didn't.
Is that how do they have divisions for soccer at least, or is it like 14-year-olds versus Brooklyn?
Yeah.
How do they do this?
We'll find out. We signed her up this year again. So
Jesus,
it's like
Memphis is a trip.
20-year-old dudes in Brooklyn.
Right? like no, we don't divide people up anymore.
But yeah, my quads finally stopped hurting. It's been like 6 days now. So, but yeah, we had fun. It was a blast.
You have any pictures?
I have pictures, but of us dancing, they took some, but I just haven't seen them yet. I'm sure that it's on the blog somewhere. So as soon as I get video, I'll be sure to post that for you guys of me sweating buckets.
All right. So I went and saw the Batman today.
Oh, that's right. That came out.
That came out today. It's 3 hours long.
Holy shnikes.
Does that mean it was too long? What does that mean?
It was too long. They probably could have cut a good hour out of that movie. And this is my spoiler-free review because I don't want to spoil anything.
Thanks.
I will just say Paul Dano makes some interesting performance choices. I think he's doing his best to kind of get a Heath Ledger level more memorable performance, and it's interesting choices he makes. Batman and Jim Gordon seem to be in a low and slow talking contest the whole time. Like, Jim, what do you think?
It's
What
not
do
one
you
of those
think
where I
happened
can't hear
here?
him.
And then Jim's like, Batman, I think the problem is this. And then Batman's like, and then Jim's like,
and then Christian Bale's like, I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Right. So of the decisions that Zack Snyder made, of the correct decisions he made, one of them I've always praised was having like that voice modulator on Ben Affleck. I always liked that when he, I don't know if you guys remember that Batman
Yeah.
versus Superman, and he's got some kind of modulation that his suit produces.
Yeah.
And I really like that choice. And he's not. This is not like Christian Bale level weirdness. It's just it's very him and Jim Gordon though. It's like it literally sounds like one of them starts talking, and the other one's like, "I can talk lower and slower than that," and then the other one's like, "Oh, I can go lower and slower than that."
How low can you
I
go?
I would say that I don't know. I give it like 2 out of 4 stars.
Wow.
It was okay.
Middling,
It was
huh?
yeah. It's probably my least favorite Batman movie that I've seen. So
Wow.
That includes Batman and Robin?
I've never even heard of that. Of the Batman movies that exist, it's my least favorite. So I don't know what you're talking about. Of the movies that you can call Batman movies, it's my least favorite one so far.
So if that Batman and Robin movie was a real movie, how would you rate this one compared to that?
Batman Forever and Batman and Robin wouldn't even be on a list, period. But this would be at the bottom of my. I mean, the only stuff that would be on my list would be like the 2 Tim Burton movies, the 3, the Dark Knight trilogy, the Christopher Nolan movies, Mask of the Phantasm. I don't really count Batman versus Superman because that wasn't just a straight up Batman movie, so that doesn't factor in. But this would be at the bottom, and it's not bad. It's just it's not great, and it's way too long and self indulgent in that regard. There's a whole subplot they could have cut the fuck out, and no, I don't think anybody would have cared. And then it looks really cool. Like it has like this very film noir style, and it's very self serious, which in and of itself can be a little silly. But I think they pulled off a lot of cool stuff in it. Batman he's in his suit a lot. I think another issue I have though is like when he's out of his suit, the few times that he still just acts like Batman. Like he has no other personality. He has no Bruce Wayne personality. He's just always Batman.
Yeah.
It's got some cool the car chase scene. The Batmobile looks sweet, but the car chase scene is very boring, like most chase scenes. Like, guess what happens? He catches up with him. It's got some cool violence. It was just very okay. It was just very.
What is
okay.
it rated?
PG-13.
Is it really?
Interesting.
So was it? There's a lot of detective Batman. Yes,
there's some detective stuff in there. That's the other thing that bothered me though too is he draws a lot of conclusions quickly and very intelligently, and then other ones that are very obvious he doesn't draw. You're like shouting there's 2 particular riddles where it was like duh, like it was like so obvious. And I'm not going to give those away, but there's 2 like he could pull all these other ones out of his ass, and I'm like I have no idea what he's talking about. And then like the obvious ones, Batman's like I don't know who that could be. I have no fucking clue, and I'm like it's fucking like it's very weird. But
so these were new riddles, not riddles from the comic book, right?
I mean, not that I know of. But like cinematically it was cool. The score was cool, even though the score reminded me very much of the Imperial March. It's like it's like 2 notes off from the Imperial March, so I kept expecting Darth Vader to pop out at some point.
So one thing you haven't mentioned is the fight scenes.
They're pretty cool.
I mean, they're not like. Are they like Bale's like close action? Nolan's close action?
No, there's some.
Can you actually
there's a little
see
bit.
them?
No, like there's a few of them where you can really see what's happening, but I think my issue with the fight scenes is he never fights any one person who's like his equal. So it's always like a bunch of dudes, which is still cool. It's still very cool. I do like that they made his suit like pretty much completely bulletproof, which only makes sense. So it's also very armored. I was concerned that Catwoman was far too tiny, but when she did face off with Batman, like she basically got her ass handed to her, I was like, okay, I'm okay now. So it's like she weighs 100 pounds less than that dude, and he has 12 inches on her in height. Like, please don't let her kick his ass.
What do you do?
Like,
Kick her like Kingpin?
no, it was not right. And her insides exploded, which is what should have happened to fucking Hawkeye 2. It's worth seeing. Like I said, it's very 5 out of 10, 2 out of 4. It's just very middle of the road for me. It was way too long. They like I said, there's a whole subplot they could have either cut out or trimmed down a lot. A lot of little bits and pieces here and there they could have trimmed out. And
you're saying they could have taken an hour out of this bad boy?
Easily got rid of an hour of this movie.
Is that just because faster. You know everything about Batman? Like, are they doing that for the audience that doesn't know? Maybe
was there an origin story?
You don't see the Waynes murdered, which I appreciate.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, there's
still an hour too long.
I was gonna say that's 15 minutes there.
You don't get that stuff. It's not even like they don't. As far as I know, they don't pull from any comic book stories. I know, not directly. You can see some influences. I think they would have been better off just like they should just shoot The Long Halloween at some point. I don't know why they haven't done that. That's such a great story. And they pull from these other stories, but they never utilize them fully, and I don't know why.
You can make 2 3-hour movies with The Long Halloween.
That's true. But I don't know. It's one of those things. I have to approach it again. I can never be fully objective. I approach it one as a fan of film in general. I love movies, but also as a longtime hardcore Batman fan. I have to judge it on 2 different fronts. It's a coherent story, if a little convoluted. So that's fine.
You're making me not even want to go. Like I was gonna.
I don't think I'm in a hurry.
Monday. Now I'm like,
I think Steve, you'd love it. You will love it. You will. There's
because Steve, you don't get story.
You're just more easily impressed, and I'm jealous of that.
Hey man, I'm the one that liked Venom.
Right, you walked out of Venom. Way better than Venom.
I think we switched roles, Steve.
and I need to tell you this: I went in prepared. I practically dehydrated myself because I didn't want to have that bladder pressure I get like partway through where it distracts me from the movie. Like I can hold it, but I'm annoyed because I have that pressure.
Yeah,
didn't have any of that. I pissed like black oil when I was done. You know how like you don't drink enough and your pee's too dark. But no, it's and then the other thing too, I think I've insulated myself because of COVID and because of not having to have a conventional job anymore. I was so irritated at the theater by everyone around me. I could hear chewing, I could hear rustling, I could hear ice cubes, I could hear empty cups being sucked on, that fucking sound when there's no liquid and they're still trying to get liquid out of it. And I could just hear, and dude, there was like 12 people in the theater. Like that's why when I bought my ticket, only 2 other people had bought tickets. And then I was like, oh, and I knew a few more would show up. But of course, 3 of them sat directly behind me. 1 of them sat directly in front of me. Like, ah! Like, so I think I might be done going to the fucking theater, guys. I'm not even kidding. I get so irritated now in my old age and having to hear these sounds. And I'm more irritated than ever at the sounds of chewing. But listen.
There's always someone that gets a bag of Skittles. It's like, really? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Tootsie Rolls.
But even the popcorn and just everything. I just hear all this around me and I'm just like, I'm gonna open like a country club movie theater where like people have to be tested that they know how to chew without fucking making sounds, without slapping their lips together.
How is that different from you snoring at the Eternals?
Well, if your movie's bad and somebody's snoring, they're helping. Because then you're like, listen to this guy.
That was the Eternals crew. They followed you to Ohio.
That was not my fault, though. Actually, that was Rob's fault. I was snoring. Rob's like, you've had 3 hours of sleep. Wake your ass up.
All right.
I blame Rob for my story.
Dark Knight's still the best.
Dark Knight's still the best.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight trilogy and the Burtons are still my favorites.
Man, this looked really good. I'm surprised you're just giving it a Middle of the road. Damn,
it's
that
not.
sucks.
It's not bad. It's a 5 out of 10. Like that's not a 1. That's not a 2. It's not a 3.
But you
it's
won't
a
go
5.
see Doctor Strange because Doctor Strange looks really good to me.
Well,
Have you seen any?
Yeah, I've seen the trailer, and again, but it's more just about I don't care about the character of Doctor Strange. It's the same as reading comics. I never bought Doctor Strange comics. I don't see a reason to go see a Doctor Strange movie. But I bought Batman comics.
But don't take away that. Take away your Batman side of it. Go for your movie side of it. That's all I'm saying.
But that's the thing with the superhero movies for me is part of it is the attachment to the character itself. You know, I didn't go see the second or third. Or no, I did see the third Thor in the theater. I didn't see the third Iron Man in the theater. I loved the third Iron Man. It turned out I didn't think I would care at that point.
That's why you should go because you never know.
And it's Sam.
Here's the thing,
Sam
I don't want to go to
Raimi.
the theater at all for anything now because I'm just so irritated by everybody else there.
Sam Raimi's his boy. Like I'm surprised
you like Sam Raimi.
Inventor of the Necronomicon, man. Come on, show some support.
Again, I don't go see every Sam Raimi movie. You know, he did some remake of Wizard of Oz, and he's done other stuff that I've never seen. There's not a single actor or director that I will go see everything they are in. I've never been that kind of fan, but I am a fan of comic book characters, so I will go see Punisher and Spider-Man. I didn't even go see Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Strange. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Doctor Strange. I've never have been. I don't care.
I'm not either. I just want to go see a fucking Marvel movie.
That's good. I'm not telling anybody not to go.
I think it looks good.
This is a table. This is one person. This is one person who's like, I don't want to do that. Everybody else should absolutely go. I will watch it on when it comes home. I will probably enjoy it. I think the first Doctor Strange movie was fine. But at the same time, I never felt compelled to rewatch it. I don't care about Doctor Strange. He doesn't look cool. He doesn't have a cool power set. He doesn't even have a cool name. There's no in for me.
You just can't do the magic.
I was thinking this Batman movie looked better than Doctor Strange though, so I'm kind of disappointed.
Well, again, I honestly think you would like it more than I did. I am a hardcore Batman fan. I have a $250 Lego Batmobile. I'm a hardcore Batman fan. I've read so much Batman fiction that I'm judging this against that other people, again, that's why my view isn't my review is not objective. It's subjective to my own personal experience with the franchise. So as a movie, it flows fine. I will, but also as a movie, if we divest of the Batman property and just focus on the plot points, even the reveals, like the mystery reveals, just weren't interesting to me. I was like, oh, either one, they were very predictable, or two, I didn't care. Typically, it was my reaction anytime a mystery was solved. It was like, and I care because, it just wasn't. It didn't have that Dark Knight feel to it.
So it was that easy to figure out.
Well,
maybe I'll be all right. Maybe I'll be like, I don't know what's going on.
Well, it was just a lot of it was obvious from the rip again and a lot of it's because I've read so many Batman stories. However, so another thing that happened, I watched the new Scream movie this week, which I like the Scream franchise. This was the first time I watched a Scream movie where I guessed the killer and was correct and was like, I guessed it very early on. I was wrong about the motivation. So I was actually kind of disappointed at the end because I was like, oh, I figured that out so easy. And it wasn't a bad movie either. It had a lot of gore in it, which I appreciated. They ramped up the gore. I was a little disappointed that the plot was so, or the mystery of the killer, because it could go one of two ways. Because then you have Scream 3 where it's so convoluted, you're just like, wait, his aunt's uncle's roommate's cousin? That's why you're doing that? Or you know what I mean? Like it's that whole fucking Spaceballs thing. But this one was just a little too easy to figure out. So I was a little disappointed. Not a bad movie. Batman is absolutely worth a watch. I think it's very I don't think any movie needs to be 3 hours. No, I take that back. Endgame earned its 3 hours. But Titanic, Avatar, The Batman, no need for any of those movies to be 3 hours.
Lord of the Rings.
Okay, Lord of the Rings. Return of the King, that's fair too. That's fair.
Return of the King, yeah. The other ones were,
very few movies have earned a runtime that long, and this movie does not earn a 3 hour runtime, in my opinion.
So, are you going to see
minimum?
It twice?
They could have cut 30. I will not see it again in theaters. No, I will watch it again at home.
The kids don't want to go see it. Maggie doesn't want to see it.
Nobody in my house wanted to go see it. Nobody wanted to go see it. I have no Batman fans in my house. I'm very sad. I was alone at the theater again, just surrounded by people with very loud chewing disorders.
Nobody would go just to support you.
No, because as soon as they heard the runtime, they're like, "Oh no, I have much better things to do at 3 hours."
Robert Pattinson, other than being a goth
He was fine
all the time.
I think everybody except for Paul Dano, which Paul Dano was fine, except for, again, some of his choices. I was like, it was a little too hammy, and it became unintentionally funny to me. But everybody else was fine. Despite the low and slow talking and everything, they were going for a vibe and an atmosphere. So I get that. Pattinson looked good. I mean, he's got a great jawline. He sounded better than Christian Bale. He just wasn't given a lot to do. That's the one thing too, is like that I've never understood when people get upset about who gets cast as Batman. I'm like, the Bruce Wayne Batman role is one of the easiest roles in the goddamn world to play. Like, what are you talking about? You don't need a lot of range to play Batman / Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of emotional range there. The Joker, yes, you need somebody like Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger for a Joker, a manic, guy that has a lot of range. Batman, Bruce Wayne, you just need a guy that's in good shape. That's it. Has a great jaw.
It's not easy to be suave, debonair,
He's
regal.
not in this. He's just Batman all the time. He is emo man all the time in this. He is not suave or debonair, which is a different take. I'm not going to be upset about the take. A lot of people too are like, "Oh, it wasn't true to the comics in this way or that." I'm like, I don't mind a different take, but it also just kind of made it a little more boring though. One of the things I really liked about Christian Bale is it was his Bruce Wayne. Same with Michael Keaton. I liked that they kind of acted human when they were Bruce Wayne. This guy doesn't. He's just pure obsession 24/7.
Did he have any of those wonderful toys?
Dude, he has some very cool toys. Very cool suit. There's a lot to like here. There really is. And I know I'm focusing on the negative stuff, but that's kind of a reaction too to the fact that people are just saying it's the best one since The Dark Knight. It's like, oh, shut the fuck up. No, it isn't. There is a scene when you go see it. There's a scene where Batman is rescuing some people. Some scaffolding or something has fallen, and it was like I didn't understand it because he goes over and he reaches his hand out, and this kid just stands up and takes his hand. Like, nobody's actually trapped. Like, what do you? I didn't. And then you just watch everybody just start walking out. He didn't move any debris. Like, I was like, what? That's so lazy. That's like the worst thing I've seen since Age of Ultron, when Hawkeye is going to save that kid. Do you know what I'm talking about? At the end of Age of Ultron, when like right before Quicksilver gets killed.
Oh yeah.
And he goes to save that kid, and he touches the kid's hand, and the kid just stands up like immediately, like he stood up too soon. He's like, the kid's like reaching over. He's like, oh, and Hawkeye goes to pick him up. The kid just stands up, and it's like, oh, he wasn't supposed to stand up then. It was clear that it was the same thing, but with like a bunch of people. It was like, those people don't need help. That woman was shot in the gut. Why is she okay now? Weird questions about that scene. So I want people to go see it. This is not something I would say it's worth seeing. It's just, you have to weigh that against, is it worth 3.5 hours of your time worth seeing? And I don't know that I could say that it is.
You have not sold this movie to me like you did.
I'm not trying to.
Cobra Kai, U.S. selling.
So Cobra Kai is so much more entertaining than this movie. Cobra Kai is so much more entertaining than this movie. I'm entertained by Cobra Kai. I was not as entertained by this movie. But the moody atmospherics of it, I actually kind of liked. I don't even think Maggie can watch this movie. She has like a strobe sensitivity that will give her trigger migraines and stuff. And this movie's so dark and has so much like gunfire and strobing lights and everything that I don't even know you could get through this movie if you have a strobe light sensitivity. It's very dark, but
a bunch of people having seizures.
Right? This should have a seizure warning. Yeah.
Was there a post-credit scene?
So I looked it up beforehand, and there is. I did not stay for it. I spoiled it for myself because it's not really a scene. I guess it's just like a computer coming back on with a website or something. So I didn't stay for that.
Is it Coinbase.com?
Right. So I didn't.
If you're gonna have a 3-hour movie, you shouldn't.
Better not. Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to pee at the end. I didn't pee till I got home, but I was so like done with the movie at that point that I was like, I don't care. So I just looked. I knew there wasn't an actual scene. There's just like this little thing.
This is not the reaction I was hoping for.
I wasn't the reaction I was hoping for either. I mean, again,
I
hardcore
was
Batman
hoping
fan.
you to be real giddy and everything when you came on. This is not. This is not good.
I was hoping for the same thing. Of course, that's what I look forward to with every movie I see. But no, it was just very okay. Now, it was funny too. Is it gets a lot of extra points for me because it's Batman. I'd watch this over Shang-Chi again just because I like Batman, even though Shang-Chi technically is a more entertaining movie and moves a lot faster. I really liked the score though. I did, even though it was very derivative. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, because it was Star Wars.
It's very similar to that. You take maybe it's just me though. Tell me if I'm making things up. I might be having auditory hallucinations here. So, but to me, I was just kind of like waiting for those extra notes and for a lightsaber to fucking kick on.
Now we're talking lightsabers.
But
that was Harry Potter.
I don't recognize
I never recognized that.
I don't recognize that theme at all.
I thought you were trying to do another Star Wars thing.
No, that was actually Harry Potter.
Hey,
I don't think I'm very good at that.
Rob, how are you doing on Cobra Kai?
I haven't watched anymore since.
He doesn't like the Cobra Kai.
Kristen and I finished it last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Of course, your kids are going to karate right now, so that might have a big impact.
There's a huge difference between Cobra Kai and actual karate class. There are worlds of difference there.
What are you talking about? They don't break people's arms in kids classes and
with zero consequences.
And spit in people's faces.
They don't have headbutt class.
So should we talk about it or just wait for Rob to finish?
I don't care.
He doesn't care. He's not gonna
I'll go get coffee.
You're not gonna watch it at all, man?
I might.
He doesn't like it. Like, if he doesn't want to watch it, he doesn't have to watch it.
I'd rather watch something else.
I'm not there
that means you don't like it. That's what that means. That's how. So season 4. Oh well, dude. End of season 3 was.
Dude, they went from season 2 to season 3, and their son was fat as fuck. Next season, I was like, did they cast a new character?
No,
I was like, that's him? And then he was a total asshole.
Right. I like that twist though. I was like, that makes sense that the LaRace's family would have a little bully in their midst. I like that.
Dude, that kid, I gotta go on that diet because that kid lost some fucking weight, dude.
I think he just grew up. You know how like some kids, they're like pudgy
and
then they have a growth spurt?
No. There's more than that.
I don't know. Okay,
he got a Hollywood agent is what happened.
No, yeah,
that's a Hollywood agent.
It's a growth spurt and a personal trainer is what that is.
What was okay? So they brought in the like
spoilers for Cobra Kai for anybody that wants to watch the show.
The occupational therapist they brought in, that's Ralph Macchio's daughter. The guy that plays the young Kreese is Martin Cove's son. That's his actual son in real life.
No way.
Yeah.
Martin Kreese.
Martin Cove is the actor who plays John Kreese. And so to play the young Kreese, they brought in. I guess he has twin sons, so that's his actual son they brought in.
I was gonna say cool. It looks like him.
Little Johnny.
What else? Oh, they brought in the guy from Karate Kid 2. The guy that he was supposed to fight to the death in Karate Kid 2.
Yeah.
They brought him, same actor. They brought the same, even the little girl he saves in the typhoon, they brought that same actor back. Like, it's just stunning to me that they're able to put together all these people from all these minor roles. And they're like, yeah, I'm free. I'll do some Cobra Kai shit.
It's like, I haven't worked.
That's because nobody has worked since then. That is exactly right.
I don't think they have.
Seriously.
So Terry Silver, how much do you like Terry Silver? Because I love Terry Silver.
Yeah, I like him a lot. That was a good twist in the end of that last season too.
Who's Terry Silver?
He was one of the main bad guys in Karate Kid 3, and he's insane in Karate Kid 3, and the way they explain his behavior is hilarious. He's like, was terrorizing a teenager for a karate tournament. He's like, I was coked out of my mind. I was like, that makes sense. That makes sense. Like, they never showed him doing coke, but they're like, the writers were like, we got to address this behavior in Karate Kid 3 because it's fucking insane. So we're just gonna say he was on some serious coke, and I'm like,
and then I think he reverts
sense.
back to his old behavior in the end there.
Right.
He's probably doing lines in the bathroom
Right.
off camera. The Eagle Fang Karate. Holy fuck.
Eagle Fang.
I want a t-shirt so bad of that fucking eagle.
Go to the website. Dude, they sell all that merch, dude.
I know they do. I told Kristen, I was like, that's what I want for my birthday.
Eagle Fang. Dude, and again, I am pro Eagle Fang. I am anti Miyagi. I hate Miyagi-Do so fucking much. Dude, how funny was that episode when Johnny and Daniel started training each other and they go to that hockey game and he's like, they'll be there.
And they'll be there. And they'll be there.
I was fucking dying, dude.
He's
like,
perfect.
the man spends his whole life, shares his legacy of karate. You can't help him with his fucking English or whatever.
Yeah. Like, when he said that line, I was laughing my ass off, and Krista didn't hear it. She's like, "What did he say? I didn't hear it." I was like, the perfect line. Like, you totally fucking missed it.
I hope you rewinded it for her.
I did. We rewound.
Okay, because it's so no be there. I was fucking dying, dude. And then the montage, the trading montage.
Yeah,
like it was so fun.
Poor Miguel and Johnny, man. They wanted them to get on the same page, and they're working through so much shit. And I thought they were finally going to be simpatico there at the end. And he was like, he accidentally said, "I love you, Robbie," when he was talking to Miguel because he was drunk. And I was like, "Oh, dagger in the fucking heart."
Brutal.
That was good dude, shit, man.
I loved when he was when he took it upon himself to try to get Miguel to walk again. He like lit him on fire. He's like hoisting him up and finally takes him to that Dee Snider concert.
That's right.
That was all very funny. Yeah, season 3 and 4, I think they got a lot funnier, which I liked. I obviously like to laugh, but
and then the last two episodes of this last season was all tournament. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, how about when Miguel, did you not think he fucking paralyzed?
I did. I was like, no, not again. Yeah. But I've done that when I was playing kickball. I snapped something and it was just a pulled muscle. So I've heard that sound. I was like, oh my God, I think I just broke something, you know? And I went to the doctor and I'm like, no, yeah. But it sounded like a break when I did it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and then, when he did that, I thought he broke his back again. I was like, no, he's trying to do the tornado kick.
Right. But no, I loved how they came together at the end. I feel like they're finally actually, coming together as senseis or whatever, understanding each other a little bit more. And understanding that there is no one style that is the best,
Yeah.
I like all that. I enjoy the shit out of all that. That led me down a YouTube rabbit hole where I started watching MMA fighters going up against Wing Chun and various styles of Kung Fu masters, and watching martial artists just get their asses kicked by MMA guys. Because martial arts, it's funny because like as a kid, dude, I was, 100% karate and Kung Fu. It's like magical and fight stuff. But the reality is it's called an art. It's a martial art. It's almost like a dance. You're learning dance moves to an extent. They look really cool on the screen. But when you have a guy who knows how to fucking fight, go up against a guy who's been taking karate for 30 years, the MMA guy's going to win. And he wins every time decisively. And it's hilarious. It just is. Like, dude, you should look up these videos on YouTube. They're really funny, man. Like, you got guy who's been doing Wing Chun for 50 years. He's a master. And then the MMA guy is just like, one guy got knocked out in one punch. It was like out of a movie.
He trips him, then arm bar.
Right. That was the thing too with these fights. They weren't allowing like ground and pound and stuff on the ground even. And these guys were still getting taken out because because the difference between, and this is what I think happened too. Like I told you about when I thought that black belt instructor broke my fucking rib and I just fucking dropped to the ground, is I was listening to a guy who was explaining, he was an expert MMA fighter, and he was saying the difference between learning karate and kung fu versus being an MMA fighter is, in karate and kung fu, you're taught the moves, and you have somebody, that they're not doing full resistance when they're doing like a knife attack or whatever. Um, and he says what happens is when you're not used to full contact and all these moves, your adrenaline just takes over, and you forget everything you learned, and you're just covering up. And I think that's what happened because I came at that karate instructor. I was a white belt. I was like, oh, he's a black belt. He's coming in. He's supposed to be this great guy. He's a guest instructor. I'm going to come at him hard. And I did. I went in super, just flurry of punches, and he fucking panicked and dropped my ass. That's what happened. I put him into panic mode. Because again, it's all supposed to be very controlled. You're just trying to land touches. You're not trying to fucking hurt anybody. That's just land. I started landing a bunch, and he fucking lost it and just threw a full blown punch at me. And I'm very proud of that now, because I was like, okay, I sent him into a fucking animal state where he forgot karate and was just like, I got to get this guy off me.
Yeah. He's like breaking your arm like Hawk.
Right. Well, no, he wasn't going to do that, because again, he literally was just swinging.
Yeah.
He went from kata style to fucking, oh my God. Like it was just pure instinct. Like, I fucking get that now.
So is the same karate they were teaching years ago still the same exact thing they do today?
Well, I mean, there's all different styles. There's all different styles. There's all different, like, in the Taekwondo school I went to, we had jujitsu guys. The Kung Fu school I went to, they would have karate and Taekwondo guys and Aikido guys come in as guests. So there's a lot of intermingling. But again, it's not the same as like boxing or MMA, where they're literally fighting someone who is also fighting as hard as they can.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference there between, and they were showing even like Krav Maga, which is this highly respected Israeli, supposed to be this brutal martial art. Even Krav Maga guys were getting their asses handed to them by guys who actually go in and know how to maintain a calm when they're getting punched in the face as hard as someone else can hit them.
Yeah.
And it's a different thing if you want to learn how to fight or you want to learn martial arts. And there's nothing wrong with either, but I just feel like if you're going to do martial arts, you should know you're not going to be able to fight a boxer or an MMA fighter. It's not the same thing.
If you're a karate expert, you just hope to get in a fight with, someone of no skill.
Well, it's not even about that. It's karate. Again, to me, it's like dancing now, the way I look at it. It's just, it looks cool. It's exercise. It does a lot of good things, but it's not something you want to learn that's going to provide true self-defense, basically. Because they were showing too, and this is how they would teach us in the both schools that I went to. They'd have a guy like with a tanto, like a wooden knife, and he'd come in like this, and you teach you how to block and do this, that, and the other. And then I was watching the video of when they teach you how to actually deal with somebody who's armed. And the guy comes in and he's stabbing like fucking 20 times. And you're just like, oh my God, what the fuck? And that's like when they're trying to teach you how to deal with it in reality. Like, what can you do when somebody suddenly pulls a knife and they try to fucking stab your ass 30 times?
You run.
You run. Not everybody comes in with the overhead.
Right.
Stab,
exactly.
So you can high block or whatever.
Right. And and then you turn around and you disarm. And then they would show those same guys like try to do, and it was just panic mode. They just got stabbed to death, basically.
Or now we just shoot each other. We're like, fuck a fight. I'll injure life in the streets.
But yeah, that was all very fascinating to me, though. I like seeing stuff get debunked, even as a huge fan of martial arts. Because, dude, like I said, martial arts is great. Learning an art, dedicating your life to it, and it's also not the same as the guy who's training to be in the UFC, though.
Yeah.
And there are the two arts they mentioned that are the most useful for fighting, or like Muay Thai kickboxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu stuff.
Is Jiu-Jitsu, is that a lot of grappling stuff?
That's the grappling. And the Muay Thai is, kicks and punches, and, knees and elbows and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that is most useful in real life when they were talking about, like, if you want to learn a martial art that's, that's more useful than trying to do a high kick and all that kind of stuff, then that's the stuff you want to do.
Yeah.
But again, there's nothing wrong with any of it. I loved it. I would go take kung fu. I'd go take any martial art again. It was fun. I like kicking and punching things.
Yeah.
I don't want to be an MMA fighter. I don't want to learn MMA. I don't want to get cauliflower ear. Like I would rather just do
brain damage.
I'd rather do point sparring. MMA is not, but it like I said though, it's just funny when people think, and I grew up thinking that, thinking martial arts were just this amazing fucking thing because that's how it was presented in the movie. Yeah, like you could just fight anybody. Mr. Miyagi. Dude, watching Mr. Miyagi fight is so ridiculous. Dude would get laid out instantly.
It's so slow too. I thought it was awesome back in the day. I was
right?
Like, wow, this is slow as fuck.
No, be there.
Be there. Yeah, so we're excited for this 5th season. We're like, let's bring it on. Let's bring it on.
I'm glad I at least got you. I failed. I got a 50% success rate with this. I was hoping Rob would jump on too. I blame myself. I know if I hadn't brought it up right after I heard his feelings with Singing in the Rain, that he probably would have enjoyed it. But he was just bound and determined to hate whatever I presented. I should not have done that. That was my mistake.
He has already denied that, sir. He said that
doesn't change reality. Reality versus what people say. Like, I don't know if you know this, but people lie. I lie. Everybody lies.
Next time you recommend something, can it not be 4 seasons in already?
Bro.
Like, bro. Can it at least just be a couple episodes or something?
That's when I got into it. Like, I watched it a little bit years ago, and I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time. Sometimes you're just not in the mood for that thing, but I was like, I want to get back to that. And then there was all that hype for season 4. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get back into this. And I got sucked right the fuck. And it started slow. At first I was like, oh, it's okay. I dig it. I see what they're doing. And then like by the end of season 1, I'm like, Cobra Kai! Like
Eagle Fang.
Right. I was just all in. I was all in on it. I'm like, this is the greatest show I've ever seen in my life. It was so weird how that escalated for me because I was not.
Would you be my friend if I broke your arm? Like intentionally? I'm like, I guess
circumstances matter.
I was like, yeah, I don't want to hang out with you anymore, man.
I don't know. You shrugged it off well when I need you in the balls.
Yeah, that was we were kids, and
they're kids. They're resilient.
Yeah,
we were younger, but not that much younger.
I thought you kicked me in a swimming pool. I was like, I don't think it's gonna hurt that bad because you're in water. But I was wrong about that. that hurt a lot.
You know what's funny is that is a memory you have like that of. You don't remember much, but you even remember that we were in a swimming pool when that happened. Like,
you're right. Well, we were talking about last week. It's all these traumatic experiences.
Yes.
Like, oh, I remember that.
I remember that shit. Steiner Youth Center, motherfucker. Yeah. You're like 1989 or whatever.
We're gonna watch because this last we had so many seasons to watch, and I was like, oh man, if Shawn wants to talk about it this week, I was like, we got to hurry up and watch this. So we're like scheduling everything around the episodes.
Around Cobra Kai.
Yeah. We're like, all right, we got to get the kids in bed at this time. We have to watch at least 3 tonight so we can watch 3 tomorrow, and then we'll be done by Wednesday night or whatever. But
Kristen's like text you. She's like, I'm stuck in traffic. Well, okay, we're going to have to skip dinner because we got to get 3 episodes in.
Exactly. You're going to have to watch Netflix on your phone while you drive home. I know we're not supposed to watch and drive, but you're going to have to make a sacrifice.
Right. I got shit. I got to watch this. Dude, I only told you to watch 4 episodes. I honestly thought it would get both of you sucked in and you'd want to finish the whole thing. But I got one of you, though, so that's good enough.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, just in the future, a movie will do just fine.
Yeah, I couldn't help it. I didn't know you were going to watch the whole thing, though. I hoped you would, but I didn't know. I was like, if I give them 4 episodes, that should be enough to get them sucked in to Karate Land, Karate Town, USA.
Now do that to 30 Rock. Yeah. You'll enjoy it much more.
No.
So 30 Rock is fantastic.
Movie, I'll do that eventually. Movie next.
You
can
never.
you can do 30 Rock the week after that. 30 Rock goes by fast. They're all like 20-minute episodes, aren't they?
I know. That's what I'm
They're
saying.
very short.
Yeah,
They're very funny.
There's no
cash that
reason.
in quick. Hey, hey, I got this in the mail. You guys see this?
No.
What is that? Is that a playing card of Crew Jones?
That is a
Is that what I'm
Crew
looking at?
Jones
Not a
rad
playing card, but a trading card.
trading card.
How much did
Yeah.
that set you back?
$10.
Really?
Is it like? Did somebody like make that? Is that a bootleg? I can't imagine that's a real thing.
I don't know. I don't care.
Well, no, I'm not saying there's that, dude.
I'm sure they just printed something.
But
off.
I have bootleg shit that's cool as fuck. Some
Here-
people make really cool bootleg, but I just didn't know if that was like an official release
Here's the
or if it's Bill Allen, Crew Jones,
very
rad.
very minimal.
So that's cool, dude.
Yeah.
I have stuff like that. Well, actually, so there's a company that I would get. What did I order from? I think they t-shirts. Yeah, Fright Rags. They send little trading cards, their own trading cards, and they sent me this one. How perfect
nice.
is that?
That's fucking awesome. RoboCop with the
RoboCops.
gun in the gun range.
Right.
I feel
Stay
left
out of
out.
trouble.
I'll show you what I bought off of Amazon.
Great.
All
This
right.
could be a nail gun.
Hey, while he's going to get something, this also came in the mail. Another.
Right.
That's
A
the
little bit more.
That's
There
the
we go.
Matrix Funko Neo, where he's blacked out with Matrix code.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The book's a million.
Hey, and let the
That'll-
dog
that-
in.
So another
That might go up in
resurrection, another resurrection dagger.
Hey, and let the dog in.
Another reminder of how
Ooh,
terrible
this is
the movie
exciting.
was.
Rob has something. What is
So
this?
this is a drain from my shower.
Oh,
That is,
Yeah.
that's cool.
that is not
Isn't that neat?
cool. That's not
That
cool.
actually is
I'm gonna
cool. I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
put
cool.
this in my bathroom.
What's
It's
the
gonna
bottom
be-
look like? Let me hang on. What's on the
It's gonna
bottom?
be there forever.
Is that
It's got
what are those things?
adjustable legs, and
Adjustable legs.
it's
So wait a minute. What you stand on the other side, right?
No,
I'm very-
this is actually goes on the ground. This will be
Right.
in a mud bed.
Right.
Okay.
So
and
you only
the
see
pan
the top.
will be under here to keep the water from leaking all over your house.
No,
Dude,
that's-
the reason I think that's cool is because everybody in my house has long hair. So
Yeah.
I think that's
And it's got a little strainer inside. You can lift the grate up, and then it's
Yeah.
got like a little thing.
So we have a tub shroom now, and it has to be cleaned out every
That's what
shower.
That's I got one for Aiden.
Yeah, like it's the long hair. We all our hair just falls out every time we shower.
dude.
Like it used to be, we could always nail like, oh, it was Maggie's hair. We could always tell when Maggie showered because she had long hair. Now everybody in my house has long hair, so it's always disgusting.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the worst. Like I'm not disgusted by a lot of things, but when I have to clean out the drain, it's just like, oh, what the shit is this? And it's all
Yeah.
it's not my hair. It's Kristen's hair. It's all long.
Well, yeah, it's
I always
obviously
get
not your hair.
blamed. I always get blamed for it because I'm so hairy for everywhere else. It's like those are long hairs and not coming from
Right.
me.
No, that's the long haired folk that are doing that. And like I said, that's everybody in my house now.
Yeah, I got rid
Mason
of that
hair.
long hair, man. So much better.
I love my long hair.
It was 70 something freaking degrees today. I'm so glad.
Thank you. All right. So what else is going? Oh, I watched a show. I've been watching a show called Severance on Apple TV. That's pretty good.
What's that
with
about?
Adam.
Tell us about that.
It's kind of a sci-fi slant to it. It's about a company called Lumen, and they employ people, and they have to go through this procedure, basically where they have they have a work self and a home self for security reasons. So it's a sci-fi, I don't know, mystery thriller. I don't know how to put it, but it's very entertaining so far. I'm enjoying it. I think they're only 3 or 4 episodes in. I think there's a new episode tomorrow.
Is it better than Cobra Kai?
It's different. It's a different thing than Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is just pure fucking. It's like cereal on Saturday morning is what Cobra Kai is. You know what I mean? It's just like pure joy.
Yeah.
It's just easy, digestible. This is a little bit more intensive. It is good. It is. I haven't seen the whole thing, so I can't give you a judgment on it. I'm very intrigued by the setup so far, though.
Did you
Got a great
guys?
cast?
Did any of you watch Raised by Wolves on HBO?
No.
I thought it looked interesting, but I didn't know anything about it. I was hoping you guys did.
I've seen the
and then-
previews. It looked Looked interesting.
Yeah.
I watched There Will Be Blood. I've never seen that. I heard that was really good. Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Daniel
Yeah.
Day-Lewis and Paul Dano was in it by sheer coincidence.
Nice.
It was okay. They
Yeah.
had some really cool scenes in it, and then too long.
That's about one about the oil well guy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The oil tycoon or whatever. Some really good scenes and a lot of boring shit. Really good score though. Again, Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead did the score. Kept some of the scenes, some of the more boring stuff moving just based on the music alone. So that was nice.
Daniel Day-Lewis really can act. That guy's he's really
amazing.
Good. Yeah.
And this character, it's pretty much just a character study. So the best scenes are like when he's like fired up.
Yeah.
But there aren't a lot of those. So it's one of those movies that people just rave about, but I'm just like, it was good. It was solid.
Yeah, I remember watching it.
Really cool moments.
I was like,
that's pretty old.
All right. I was like, that was as good as the Hurt Locker.
So I thought it was better than Hurt Locker. I will say it's better than Hurt Locker.
I want to see the Phantom Thread. I want to see that one with him in it.
I've never even heard of that.
No.
Okay.
Me neither.
I've never heard of it.
Very good.
Very okay. You're not going to expound on that?
I don't know what it's about. I just know he's in it. And he's in, and it was. I thought it was up for like a Best Picture or something at one point.
Never heard of it.
He's always up for Best Actor though.
Oh yeah,
that dude's gonna die getting lost in a role like Heath Ledger.
Nah, I think he's retired now. I thought Maggie said he retired from acting.
Yeah, he did.
Well, the Phantom Thread might be one of his last then.
Yeah. I really like Gangs in New York. I need to see that again. I haven't watched that in a long time. That's one of the roles I really liked him in.
Is that?
Yeah,
he was the Butcher. That was 3 hours.
The Butcher.
Yeah, that was too long, dude.
That was
that? The Irishman.
What'd I say?
Martin Scorsese.
Yeah,
that's how we say that. Scorsese. That's
Marvel hater guy.
I like Rob's version better.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that was a long one.
Watched a lot of shit.
That was a great movie though.
Oh, and I watched Scott Pilgrim.
Scotty, where's Maggie?
Version.
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know.
Maggie did not read it, and because she has surgery tomorrow, she's off the hook. So she doesn't. She doesn't want to, since she has surprise surgery. Wasn't supposed to have it later this month, and they're like, "Hey, how about tomorrow?" She's like, "Okay." So she's off the hook for that.
Oh, that's a bummer.
The ultimate excuse. I told her. She didn't read it anyway, and then today when she had to go in for her like pre-surgery screening stuff, I was like, I'm not going to make her read. She doesn't want to read it. I'm not going to make her read it.
You wouldn't make her read her if she wasn't going to have surgery. You weren't going to make her do anything either way.
Yeah, I'm not in charge of anything around here. So
yeah.
Did you watch the movie, Rob, again recently?
I saw it on TNT about 3 months ago. Does that count?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No.
It counts.
Actually, I did watch it. I think Aiden and I watched it about, I don't know, a while ago. Not too long ago. Long enough to remember how good it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew it was good.
So
what are we talking about today? What are we supposed? We're supposed to talk about the comic book.
Scott Pilgrim comic.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim's, what's it called?
Scott Pilgrim's
I read it 2 weeks ago. I forgot.
The Ballad of Scott Pilgrim. It's called something shit.
No. It's like the Shitty Little Life or something.
Shitty Life of Scott Pilgrim.
No.
The dude, when I was reading how he did it and came up with everything, and I was like, he's just telling like shit that happened in his life. I was like, why didn't I just start fucking doing this shit a long time ago?
Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life.
Precious Little Life. That's what.
And dude, what got me? So I watched the movie, and then I don't know if you guys saw the stuff at the end of the comic where they, the stuff he was inspired by in the comic, like the locations.
Mm-hmm.
He then drew, and then it looked like in the movie. If you go watch the movie, they went back to the place and filmed at those places.
Yeah,
right.
That he is like.
I was like crazy. They had to, like the library in the stairwell.
Yeah,
I was like, this. They had to go there and film. There's no way. Scott's
parents' house, Scott and his roommate's house, the Catholic school, all
Yeah.
that stuff
The bunker.
was like, like
yeah, Scott Pilgrim's
The
down.
the doorway to his apartment. I mean, it looked right out
Right.
of the comic.
Yeah, there's no way
Yeah.
they had to go back there and film.
And they did such a great job with the costumes in the movie.
That's
incredible.
what I was going to say is this is what a comic adaptation by somebody who's like, hey, this is already really good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to adapt what I see here. Again, kind of like Sin City. Let's just take what we're looking at, base everything on what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And make it into a movie and, trim some dialogue here, trim some scenes because it has to fit a new format or whatever. There are changes that are going to be made, but they're like, we have a wardrobe, we have locations, we have dialogue. And it's like, it takes a genius like Edgar Wright to recognize that, though. Everybody else in Hollywood is like, oh, I could do a better version of this. Like, no, you can't.
This shit is
the
pissing
good one
me
exists.
This shit is pissing me off. I'm like, why don't they do this with every fucking comic book that we enjoy or is good?
Yes. Yes.
And this was what's interesting is this is a very dialogue driven comic. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing how, I mean, usually you don't see the scenery be the same on a dialogue driven movie. You know what I mean? You don't have to have the same pictures when you have a dialogue driven comic. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was like, dude, when Patel does that air kick, I mean, I was like, I saw that in the movie. That's incredible. Mm-hmm. You know? And they had to, make it look comic booky in the movie, and they did it. It was incredible. It was really cool.
I think it's
pretty neat.
In the movie, they expounded on like as I was reading it, I couldn't picture like their mannerisms and everything. And then once they did it in the movie, I was like, oh my God, this is It was. I think they tweaked it for the better. Like, because as I was reading, I was like, well, what kind of tone is it? I know it's like, a certain tone, but like when they do it in the movie, it really shows what, you weren't sure was in the comic, like how they were saying things.
Like Knives, like that is exactly how she was in the comic. It's incredible.
Right.
The look of
every character, I thought.
Yeah. I mean,
there's
her, like, like, when she got excited or whatever, they'd show. I was like, damn.
Yeah, they cast the perfect cast.
Oh, it's amazing.
They look exactly like
I've never seen anything like it. I'll be honest. I've never seen.
Well, you've seen Sin City.
Yeah.
Sin City.
Yeah.
It would be the other example.
That's so much. Yeah.
It's because that's literally what they did. Robert Rodriguez did the same thing with Sin City. He's like, I'm going to do a direct adaptation.
The black
of what
and
is
white
on the page.
With the red, if it's got that different feel, though, you know what I mean? This was like,
but it's still black and white, like the comic was.
Yeah, that's true.
But again, the scenes were written like scene for scene. It was almost straight out of the comic. So these two adaptations, they went straight for the source material, and lo and behold, they're like some of the best comic book movies out there because of it. Mm-hmm. And instead, you have people like Bryan Singer, who's like, "Oh, I can do better X-Men costumes." No, you can't. No, you can't. You fucking idiot. There's a reason these costumes are iconic. Like, dude, they make fun of it. Oh, do you want me to put on yellow spandex? Yes, actually, Hugh Jackman, I do. You fucking moron. You disrespectful piece of shit.
And Wallace Wells, dude, like, he's sarcastic and kind of a smartass in the comic, but man, Kieran Culkin just plays this character to a fucking T, man. He's so funny. Fucking everyone is so perfect in this movie.
It's funny that what you were saying earlier about how it infuriated you, because I'm the same way. Like, I'm enjoying the movie so much that I'm angry at other properties that have nothing to do with this movie, because I'm just like, if they could do a straight up adaptation of a comic book nobody had ever heard of, that had only been around for a few years, and they didn't even have an ending for yet, and they could do this fantastic of an adaptation, how can they not do a Punisher movie correctly? Mm-hmm. They have all this amazing source material. I think if Steve, you might not agree with this, but I think Rob would agree that of the comics we've read, the Punisher probably has the best fucking stories. And that's part of the reason I love the Punisher so much. But he's had some of the best stories that we have reviewed. And then you watch the movies and the TV show, and you're like, what happened? You have the best stories in the world in comic book form. And you're like, no, I'm not doing
Dude, the last one we read, the PG version of Punisher in the comic, you could so take that and make a movie out of it and make it PG-13 and have it appeal to like everybody. You don't have to make a rated R one, like the earlier comics we read. But that's why I was shocked when we read the PG, Punisher. And I was like, holy shit, you could tell a good story. I mean, that was a great story.
Yeah, like, and that's at the heart of the Punisher. That?
Exactly. And you could do it.
And I would say go for the R rating. Deadpool and Logan have proven you can do R-rated movies. Right.
But if you want to make a lot of money, I get it. But
well, I mean, you have the potential to make more for sure. But we've had some very successful R-rated movies. Again, Deadpool 2. Are they pulling in Avengers numbers? No. But for the budget, Punisher movies aren't expensive either because it's mostly just guns. Like there's not Punisher movies don't need to be big budget by any means. Same with that's why the Deadpool movies are fairly low budget as well. They don't need all the CGI that that like the MCU movies require.
There's no witches battle in that.
Like when you look at like the old gory movie, like RoboCop was a $13 million movie. The Terminator was a $6 million movie. And that had effects. I mean, you had the Terminator endoskeleton and stuff. But without all the CG, you don't have that huge budget. But again, it's just recognizing the story. And Edgar Wright was like, the story's great. We got to make some adjustments. And again, no creator or writer is going to be like, no, it's got to be just like in the book. Anybody who's writing is going to say, of course, everything can be improved upon. Of course it can. But most of the time they go the opposite way. Hollywood makes it worse instead of improving on it. But then you have Edgar Wright steps in. He's like, well, shit, we got all the storyboards right here. We have all the costuming right here. We just need to make this shit now and then film it. And that's what they did. And it was, here's the problem. It fucking bombed. It bombed horribly. It didn't even make its budget back.
Yeah, that's
not a testament to the quality of the movie, though.
No.
But Scott Pilgrim was not well known. I mean, the comic, again, had only been out for 7 or 8 years, maybe, at most. It wasn't a huge hit. It was an independent comic. It wasn't a Marvel comic, so it didn't have that name recognition. I remember I'm the one who told Steve, I was like, dude, we got to go see this. It's a comic book movie. It's based on this comic I used to read. And Steve was just like, oh, okay, that sounds cool, whatever. But he had no idea, though. He had no idea what Scott Pilgrim was.
They didn't market it either.
Because of me.
They had no marketing in it.
But I remember loving the shit out of that, even though I didn't know anything about it. That's why I'm so sad it bombed, because it was such a fucking great movie. And I think the guy's like the same age as me, the writer, the creator. So like everything that he's talking about, like all the sound from video games that we grew up playing, like the Zelda theme, and they had like a Seinfeld nod in the movie. It was like down or whatever.
Yes.
And so much of the pop culture that I grew up with was in this movie, and it was, oh my God. I remember we got out of that. I was like, that was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life.
I remember you had a great time, but that's the problem. Is other people didn't know that. You went because somebody evangelized it to you. You had your idiot nerd friend who was like, you gotta go see this. And you're like, whatever.
Well, I wish I would have had social media back then, because I would have blasted that shit all over, man. I was like, you gotta go see this.
That was a movie, the great movie, but again, it wasn't well known. And
that's what you did for Aquaman. That's why Aquaman did so
you know what angered me after watching this movie again? Something else that angered me. Once again, this movie, they had better fight scenes than the last Matrix movie. I was like, these fight scenes put the Matrix Resurrections to fucking shame, man. So well choreographed, this movie. Oh my God, I could watch these fight scenes all over. Even when they were using weapons. Dude, it's Michael Cena.
Yes.
Or Sarah. What's his name? Sarah?
Yeah,
it's like,
Michael
dude,
Cera.
You know that guy's not like, he looked great. He looked so relaxed doing these moves, and even the girls look great too. I remember what's her name did an axe kick. She looked like she's been doing this for years. Like it looks so fucking good. I was like, why couldn't I get this?
And all the actors had great fight scenes. They looked like they knew what the fuck they were doing. and they were well choreographed, and they were also filmed cinematically too. They look cool as shit.
Yeah.
They kept in the goofy people, people turning into coins. Like that's so goofy,
sweet
and
coins.
video gamey. Yeah. And they kept it in, and they didn't explain it, and they didn't feel the need to explain it.
No.
And I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And I remember, dude,